And here we've got our first mini boss of the game. This guy will sometimes get in your way here, and you can just boomerang or kill him if you prefer. But most of the time he'll be down here and you can just boomerang him and he'll stay out of your way. Normally how you would fight this guy is by using the boomerang and using sword slashes. But what we're going to do instead is just use 2 pots. And the way we're going to do it is by going all the way to the right side of this pot here. You'll notice that the ball and chain guard has actually noticed us from all the way over there and started moving towards us already, which saves us a little bit of extra time on movement by manipulating the camera in this way. So this is what this strategy is actually going to look like. Grab and throw these 2 pots, then stand and boomerang the key from in front of the door, and then you already want to be holding up as you start mashing L and R. In this game, whenever it's the last text box of a conversation, you can clear it with the L and R buttons. And since the big key message only has 1 text box, you can just hold up and mash L and R here. Then you want to come up here and grab the lamp chest. A lot of the time, Zelda will talk to you first, and this is fine. Just mash all 4 face buttons for this text, click yes for the option, and then after 1 more text box here, you can open the lamp chest. And then get some up pumps along this wall here. These 1 tile gaps like this, if you're pumping or holding a diagonal, you're not actually going to go through those 1 tile gaps. So getting extra pumps in there is fine. And we're just going to do a bit of backtracking. And once you get back into this room, follow this path to the stairs, and you can start holding upright when you get to this point. All the way through this room here. Walk to the right and hop off this ledge. This guard won't bother you at all. And when you get here, you should be able to just go right to the stairwell here. But sometimes this guard will notice you and you'll have to move up a little bit more before you go to the right, just to avoid his movement there. When you get back in this room, these pots have hearts if you need a refill. But if not, you can just take this diagonal here and boomerang anyone that gets in your way. We're going to go back into the lobby here. Hold upright as you enter this room. And again, there's only 1 text box in this conversation, so you can just mash L and R. And then take this path here to the throne room. You can just ignore both of these guys. And you just want to walk up until you get to this point in the room. Because of the way manual stairs work in this game, going up or going on a diagonal, you have the same exact movement speed. So if you save your diagonal for this portion, you get a bit of free left movement. When you get to here, you're going to mash A, B, and Y for the first text box. And at this point, you want to avoid using the map, so you're not going to mash X for that at all. And then L and R for the last one in this conversation as you move up around this shelf. The visual cue that I'm looking for is I want the back of Link's hat to just barely fit in this gap, which it doesn't quite yet. So 1 more and I should be good to go. You want to hold upright until you get to this wall. And then move up this way. Grab this pot if you still need a heart refill. Sometimes this rat will actually come directly down into your path, and you can take care of him by either slashing the sword or using the boomerang. Either way is fine, but just be aware that that RNG is a possibility. In this room, there are basically 3 lanes that these snakes can take. There's a top, a center, and a bottom. So what you want to do is just get to the center lane, and a lot of the times it'll just be clear and you can go through. but occasionally you'll get a bad RNG and you'll have to boomerang or slash an enemy. This room has a little bit more complicated manipulation. You'll notice if you just go to the right immediately, you'll actually hear the bat in the center of the room moving already. So to avoid that movement, we're gonna kind of manipulate his movement in a specific way. So what you want to do when you enter this room is hold up and start pumping to the right until you get to the wall, and you'll hear that you don't notice the bat moving. And you want to boomerang this snake here. Pay attention to when you're coming around this corner. Sometimes this higher up snake here will actually be in your way in this section. Like this right here, and you'll need to slash or boomerang him out of the way. But if his path is clear like this, however, when you're coming along this bottom wall, you want to nudge up slightly, and this is going to cause the bat to move out of its position into a position that's more favorable for you and easier to avoid. You're going to hold up left here and do L and R for the single text box. And then get just to the edge of the water here, because what we're going to do is we want to spend as little time in the water as possible because it slows Link's movement speed significantly. So what I like to do is hold left and use up pumps to gain movement speed and kind of aim for this corner here, so you spend as little time in the water as you can. And we're going to do something similar for this room, but you want to come in just under this platform above, because coming through this section here will cause this bat to get out of your way. This is the key rat room. The key rat is always going to spawn in the bottom left corner here, and at that point he can go left, right, up, a lot of different directions. Sometimes he'll be hanging out in this area, sometimes he'll come down and go along to the right here. So basically, you want to come in here and get about half a tile above the wall, and then just figure out where this guy is at and collect your key. In general, what you want to do is slash this rat and then boomerang and start walking away. And then as you come around this corner here, you want to get to about here and then start diagonaling towards the door. This room has so many RNG variations because these rats can basically do whatever they want, but in general, you want to walk up here and get to this wall as quickly as possible. If there's anything in your way, you want to slash at it, and these bats will just move out of your way as long as you're sticking to the wall here. Then push this block and come up through. If you get an RNG like this, where the bottom rat is moving left towards you, you'll have to kind of diagonal into this little space here to get around him. And then you can continue on as before. This room here, you want to face to the left immediately, and then walk about a tile to the left and slash. This deals with any possible RNG that you can get like that, where you get both rats along the top, and then you just come down through these two pots and make sure the doorway is clear before you go through. A lot of times a rat will sit right in front of the doorway. So in this room, there's a hidden text box trigger. If you just walk straight down, you'll get a warning message. So the way we avoid that is to just hold cardinally right out of the doorway and you'll snap to this position. And then once you get to the corner here, you'll get another single text box. You can actually kind of cheat this switch a little bit. As soon as you're within one tile of it, you can start holding the A button. And then if you hold down at this point, you'll snap directly to the switch. And then again, just make sure your path is clear on your way to the door.